Finance Minister Tito Mboweni is expected to present a budget with growth-enhancing reforms when he delivers his budget speech next week. This happens against a backdrop of weak growth and growing expenditure demands, as well as struggling state-owned companies. Revenue is expected to be hurt by a weak economy, a narrow tax base, and further demand for bailouts at some state-owned companies.
We must stop.
Economic growth is expected to be revised downwards to between 1 and 1.5% from 1.7%. The risk is posed by a breakdown in energy supply at Eskom. Also negative is the power utilities' huge debt. Details are expected on how government plans to rescue the cash-strapped parastatal with an already strained fiscus. The finance minister is expected to share details on how Eskom will be unbundled. But most economists believe the current negative conditions in the economy will lead to South Africa being downgraded by rating agencies.
Are watching South Africa very carefully with the potential, especially from Moody's, to downgrade us once again. This is because the medium-term budget policy statement received a credit negative response from Moody's, and Moody's, of course, being the last of the three key credit rating agencies which still have us on an investment grade rating. That credit negative response to the medium-term budget policy statement may well occur again, as there's not expected to be much deviation from the figures that were produced in the MTBPS. Of course, we can't continue to get credit negative responses without actually getting a downgrade, and I think that's the risk. So we certainly expect to see a downgrade to our outlook, not to our rating, from Moody's this year. And of course what that really means is you're either on a negative, stable or positive outlook, really indicating whether or not you're going to receive an upgrade, stay at the same rating, or obviously see a downgrade. So we anticipate that the outlook will drop to a negative outlook.
Personal and company income tax, as well as the value-added tax, are expected to remain unchanged. It's expected adjustments to tax thresholds will not fully compensate for inflation.
I think they started to realize that hiking taxes further is just counterproductive, especially when there are reports of high levels of corruption and so forth. So it undermines tax compliance, it works against economic growth. So the recommendation in the mini budget was for no further tax increases. What I think you will see is a little bit of tax relief in terms of inflationary adjustments to the tax brackets, but it probably won't compensate you fully for the effects of inflation. So citizens will pay more tax. And then finally, we will probably see the introduction of the carbon tax during the course of this year.
There is hope that government will be able to reduce the budget deficit to below 4% through an efficient revenue collection and eliminating fruitless government spending. SABC News, Johannesburg.